So friends, the trial of Dominion Voting Systems versus Fox News just kicked off, and already things are looking pretty rough for Fox. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, there have been lots of interesting developments already in the case of Dominion Voting Systems versus Fox News. And frankly, this may end up being one of the most important defamation cases ever litigated in our nation's history. Why do I say that? Well, let's start with these two unassailable truths. Fox News knowingly and intentionally broadcast lies about the 2020 election. 2, election lies, in large part, inspired the deadly January 6th attack on the Capitol. Therefore, 3, I'll let you fill in the blank, friends. Let's take a few minutes to tick through some of the recent reporting about the Dominion versus Fox case, and let's start with this from the LA Times. Headline, Fox News and Dominion head to trial in a potentially historic $1.6 billion defamation case. And that article begins, Judge Eric Davis has already ruled that Fox News did present false information, citing programs hosted by Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Jeanine Pirro, and Lou Dobbs. Murdoch acknowledged as much in his deposition testimony given in January. The ruling by Judge Davis also rejects the network's defense that the false claims were newsworthy because they were made on behalf of the president, which legal experts believe is a huge advantage for Dominion. So friends, I'm not prepared to say liability is a lock. In other words, it's a sure thing, a foregone conclusion that Dominion will be able to prove Fox defamed them. You know, I may not say liability is a lock, but boy, it's close. It really feels like this trial will be all about the damages. In other words, how much financial damage did Fox do to Dominion Voting Systems? It feels like it's going to be all about the money. How much will Fox have to pay for defaming Dominion? Now, what is some of the evidence that Dominion has against Fox? Let's look at just some of it. This from Vanity Fair. In the lead up to the trial, internal communications obtained through the discovery process have spilled out into the public, offering a damning look at Fox executives and stars dismissing unfounded claims and unreliable Trump world sources behind closed doors. Quote, Sindey Powell is lying, Tucker Carlson wrote in one private message of the conspiracy peddling Trump lawyer whom Fox repeatedly booked during the post-election period. Tucker Carlson put in writing that he knew Sindey Powell is lying, and yet Fox willingly, happily, greedily fed those lies to their viewers. What's some of the other evidence Dominion has against Fox? This from CNN. Headline, ex-producer escalates lawsuit claiming Fox News lawyers deleted messages from her phone. A former Fox News producer who claims the right-wing network pressured her to give false testimony escalated her own lawsuit against the company, adding CEO Suzanne Scott as defendant and accusing Fox's lawyers of deleting messages from her phone. In explosive lawsuits filed last month, Abby Grossberg claimed Fox lawyers bullied her into protecting the network and its on-air personalities in her deposition for the Dominion Voting Systems case. Grossberg now accuses Scott of being complicit in the alleged coercion, according to her amended lawsuit. The network fired Grossberg after she initiated the litigation, because of course they did. They fired Tucker Carlson's producer, Abby Grossberg, after the Fox network and its lawyers pressured her, bullied her into making misrepresentations to try to protect Fox, after they took her cell phone and deleted relevant evidence and information from her phone. After all of that, they fired her. Boy, the evidence that Dominion has to present at trial against Fox is overwhelming. Now, friends, it's not all good news. There have been some disappointing developments in the run-up to the trial of Dominion versus Fox. Here's one of the developments that I find disappointing. This from Vanity Fair. Headline: The Dominion versus Fox News trial will not be televised. It's a gift to Fox News. The judge in the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News has banned audio and video recordings at trial. Reporters worry the restrictions will dampen the impact of major testimonies and increase the risk of reporting mistakes. Quote, "We're basically, on some level, screwed," says one reporter. The trial for Dominion Voting Systems' $1.6 billion defamation suit against Fox News, which legal experts are calling the most consequential defamation lawsuit in decades, is set to start Monday. The verdict will decide whether Fox News will be held accountable for spreading 2020 election lies, conspiracies that were fundamental to Donald Trump's big lie. It could be the only time the likes of Fox Corp chairman Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan Murdoch will be forced to answer for the outlet's democracy-damaging coverage in a public setting. Some of the network's top stars, like Tucker Carlson, are also expected to take the stand. It's worth watching live, except unless you've made the trip to Wilmington, Delaware, and managed to get a seat in the courtroom. You can't. The trial will not be televised. The only way Americans will be able to know what's going on inside the courtroom, outside of getting one of the roughly 200 seats available in the courtroom, will be by calling into an audio line provided by the court. It's better than nothing, but it's not much better, says Columbia Journalism School professor Bill Gruskin. Gruskin recalls his experience listening to the audio line for Sarah Palin's defamation case against the New York Times last year. You can't tell who's talking half of the time, especially when the lawyers start arguing a point or you come into the testimony partway through, he said. So friends, let me pause there for just a second. I really am disappointed that this trial won't be televised, because it is so important to not only hear the testimony in the event it is streamed and people can listen to it, but to actually watch the demeanor of the witnesses. I mean, who doesn't want to watch Tucker Carlson being grilled on cross-examination about how he could put in writing Sindey Powell is lying, and then have Fox Network go on to put Sindey Powell in front of the viewers to spout those lies over and over and over again? Let me use an example of how important it is to see the witnesses testify. If you have a witness testify along these lines, an eyewitness whose testimony is being presented to the jury, and that eyewitness says, "That is the person who committed the crime." That seems pretty powerful, pretty convincing, pretty definitive. Now, let's have that witness testify to those same words, but with a different affect, tone, inflection, demeanor. That is the person who committed the crime? If you read those two accounts, you read those words on the cold page, they will read identically. That's why it's so important to see the demeanor of a witness as he or she testifies. And I am really disappointed that the American people will be deprived of their ability to watch this trial for themselves. I hope the courts will move forward and will begin recognizing the importance of the American people seeing for themselves what goes on inside America's courtroom. You know, that kind of transparency, I think, would be so beneficial. Yes, some people, some witnesses, some lawyers, some judges might play for the camera, but you know, I will take those issues and those challenges every day over true transparency, the opportunity for the American people and the world to watch a defamation trial where there will be mountains of evidence about the lies Fox told, democracy-busting lies about rigged elections and stolen votes, lies that were offered up by guests that the evidence suggests Fox knew to be liars. The Vanity Fair reporting continues. Not only will the trial not be televised, the court has banned any recording or rebroadcasting of the audio feed, hampering outlets' abilities to play back the proceedings on radio or TV. A group of media outlets, including The Times, CBS, ABC, NBC, and ProPublica, wrote to Judge Eric Davis seeking to record the audio stream of the trial and to use excerpts of those recordings in their news programming. Davis has not yet expressly ruled on that request. But get this, friends, the lawyers for Fox objected to even the audio being broadcast so people could hear for themselves how, for example, the Tucker Carlsons of this sad affair testified. Here's the reporting. Fox's lawyers filed an opposition brief to the media outlet's letter, which, in a statement to Vanity Fair, Fox called an 11th hour request that risks compromising the integrity of the trial proceedings. Yeah, Fox is all about the integrity of the trial proceedings. Let's look at this reporting. This from the New York Times, headline, Judge imposes sanctions on Fox for withholding evidence in defamation case. Judge Eric Davis also said an investigation was likely into Fox's handling of documents and whether it had withheld details about Rupert Murdoch's corporate role. Because, you know, Fox is all about protecting the integrity of the proceedings. That article begins, the judge overseeing Dominion Voting Systems' lawsuit against Fox News said on Wednesday that he was imposing a sanction on the network and would very likely start an investigation into whether Fox's legal team had deliberately withheld evidence, scolding the lawyers for not being straightforward with him. The rebuke came after Lawyers for Dominion, which is suing for defamation, revealed a number of instances in which Fox's lawyers had not turned over evidence in a timely manner. That evidence included recordings of the Fox News host Maria Bartiromo talking with former President Donald J. Trump's lawyers, Sindey Powell and Rudy Giuliani, which Dominion said had been turned over only a week ago. Judge Davis said he would weigh whether any additional sanctions should be placed on Fox. He also said he was very concerned that there had been misrepresentations to the court. Quote, "This is very serious," Judge Davis said. Fox doesn't want anything broadcast because of their deep and abiding concern about the integrity of the proceedings. They even had to issue a formal apology to the judge for the way they've been conducting themselves. Here's the headline from the Daily Beast. Fox News apologizes to judge in Dominion defamation case. Fox News has reportedly issued a formal apology to the judge in the Dominion defamation case after he called the network out this week for misrepresenting Rupert Murdoch's role. In a letter dated Friday, an attorney for Fox News said the network took responsibility for the misunderstanding that led the judge to announce plans for an investigation into whether the network withheld evidence, according to CNN. Oh, we're so sorry, Your Honor, that you seem to misunderstand things, based on our misrepresentations and hiding of evidence. Sure feels like that's Fox saying, we are very, very sorry, deeply sorry that we got caught, and we pledge to you that we'll do better never to be caught again. So friends, I think perhaps the most important question that may ultimately be answered by the outcome of the case of Dominion Voting Systems versus Fox News and other suits that might be brought as a result of how the Dominion versus Fox case shakes out. I think the biggest question that may be answered is, will this judgment and any similar judgments that may be entered against Fox spell the end, the financial end of Fox News? Given the knowing and intentional and democracy-busting lies, dangerous lies, Fox News has now been shown to have put on air for profit, I, for one, hope this suit and others like it do spell the end of Fox News. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again soon.